Welcome to Leadville, Colorado. We are high in the mountains and we are ready for stop number 3 of the 2025 Life Time Grand Prix. This is the Life Time Leadville Trail 100 mountain bike presented by Kenetik.
This is such a unique race with how high the altitude is, how much climbing. This sort of just beats you down and wears you down.
It's just exciting. Like, it's a race that I think has so many unique aspects to it.
Not only is it a race at the front, but it's mostly a race against yourself.
In 3, 2, 1.
So our women officially underway here as they make their way down as 6. Stop number 3 of the 2025 Lifetime Grand Prix.
This race was really similar to all our Grand Prix races. Everyone's really nervous. There's a lot of people there who want to win.
So how I always approached it going into it and pacing is like, don't go out too hard. But if you want to be in the race, you have to go out too hard.
This year, it felt like it was like from the gun. We were going fast, and so it was definitely a bit of a jockeying for position. I think we knew that St. Kevin's climb was going to be fast and that separation was going to happen there.
It was pretty clear early on that first climb who was going to be climbing the best. Yeah, there was a quick separation, I think, just before we hit the turn on St. Kevin's.
I led a lot of the way on the bottom of that climb just to really control the pace.
I was mostly like surfing wheels and just trying to like kind of ride within myself in that section. But for sure it started to string out already.
A little bit of separation there, maybe about 10 or 11 riders there kind of strung out with a gap. It looks to be Cecily Decker.
Yeah, that pavement climb in Hagerman, I think the dynamic was like, we got to keep rolling forward, but nobody really wanted to do it.
Kate was on the front and tried to sort of pull off and have someone else come through, and the group sort of moved behind her. So there was a little looking around, nobody wanting to do a ton of work.
And then once we hit Sugarloaf was where I felt like the race really began.
It is game time from here on out, these next couple climby corners.
I actually set the pace a bit there and did like a little bit of threshold to kind of like see what would happen. And it started to get into a smaller group.
That's when I knew that Kate was going to be hard to beat.
Kate Courtney on the front setting the pace.
I think I was maybe like too excited that I was like on Kate Courtney and Melissa's wheel going into Powerline. Okay, I did a good job on the climb.
By the bottom of Powerline, it was me, Melissa, and Lauren Stevens together in a group. And we started working together really well from there. And then the group kind of like accordioned back together, and we had, I think, 7 women.
We started up and over Sugarloaf with 9, and that group has broken up. Kate Courtney, Melissa Rollins, Alessa Scarta, Lauren Stevens, and that front group of women are looking really good, really strong. Everyone successfully got their feed.
That whole section between Powerline and Columbine was pretty mellow. Like, everybody knows what's coming, so no one really wants to do too much work.
I was so blown from Kate going over Sugarloaf that I was like, okay, just gotta sit in because I am really worried about Columbine.
So we hit the base of the climb, and it was the 7 of us, and almost right away it just got pretty strung out.
It was the slow burn of Columbine. I don't think there's necessarily ever attacks on it.
You know, people were looking around, there was wind involved, and I decided I wanted to just like set my pace that I thought I could hold the whole time.
There was immediately a separation with me, Kate, and Lauren again. I was the first to fall off from the group of 3. We got a pretty good gap on the other girls. I looked back and I couldn't see anybody, so I knew we were in a good spot.
And then eventually it was just Lauren and I, and then kind of towards the middle to top section, I went solo.
I rode most of it with Alexis, and then got a bit of a gap over her towards the end, which I was actually a little bummed about because I knew I would be all by myself at the bottom. Yeah, from that point on, I was alone the whole rest of the race.
Columbine's just a mental game, in my opinion. It's so high. It definitely is really tough. Also hard with the two-way traffic, so it's really cognitively demanding.
So here we're seeing Kate still charging at the front of the women's race, and we're seeing Lauren Stevens about 3.5 minutes back, and Melissa Rollins at like 3:58. So Melissa's definitely pulling that time back to Lauren.
So I caught Lauren just after the Twin Lakes aid station, and we were pretty good. We talked to each other. We were gonna roll through and see if we could catch Kate, but we kept getting time gaps, and Kate was putting time into us, so we knew she was going strong. And yeah, it would be a race between Lauren and I think, for a second.
I had this feeling like I could have a really good day here, but it's gonna take 100%. And with the level in the women's field, like 95 is not enough. Staying on that edge for so long, I really tried to ride at my threshold and ride at the number I thought I could do for an hour on Columbine, and then just let it happen. I would say after the Twin Lakes speed zone, when we came over and there's that ripping headwind, I was like, this is gonna be a really hard day.
We could well see a sub-7.
Going into this race, I was really focused on wow, I'm feeling good at altitude. I'm climbing really well right now. I pre-rode the course. I did the stage race. I have a locked-in fueling plan. I have a good mental plan. I've practiced the things that I struggle with on this course. I'm obviously really proud that I was able to execute on those things, but also very grateful that all the things that were out of my control that I needed to go right did.
For me, I was really looking at a top 5 as a goal of mine, and then really my primary goal was really moving out of the tied lead into first place.
I think I was hoping that I would have had more people to work with. That was sort of my goal, was to get down Powerline and hopefully have a group and not be sitting in the wind. And I ended up doing probably 80 of the 100 miles solo, which wasn't quite what I wanted to do. But I think it still was good to just sort of put my head down and focus on the parts of the race that I knew were going to play to my strengths.
Lauren is in second place with Kate Courtney comfortably off the front. We are getting word that actually Melissa is close to catching Lauren.
I ended up getting a time check to her after I had descended Kevins that she was only 30 seconds ahead on the road. I actually made the catch as we were turning left onto the boulevard. I knew that was a good spot to attack, and then you kind of have to hold on up the boulevard for 10 minutes.
Doing a great job to catch Lauren Stevens out there and make the pass, and she's potentially going to go under the 7-hour mark.
This is going to be an absolutely record-breaking day for the women. Only one woman has ever finished under 7 hours.
The 2 women who we had go under 7 hours were completely unassisted times, which I just think is a really special and cool thing and speaks to the level of the field here.
Your female champion, representing today, Kate Courtney. She got sub 7 hours for Kate Courtney.
I totally started crying when I saw the clock. And I'm super proud that I was able to do it, and super psyched that Melissa was able to do it as well.
2 riders today going to eclipse that 10-year-old mark set by Annika Longvad.
This will be Melissa Rollins from Alpha.
Hats off to Kate. She did this almost entirely by herself, and I think she elevated the first half of the race. It's a really exciting time to be at Leadville and to be a part of it, and it makes me want to continue to try to push the limits as well.
Just the level of the whole women's field, it's just super impressive and really cool to be a part of it. For me to have the overall lead, I feel really, really good about that.
I was 8th in the Grand Prix going into this race, and so this definitely moves me up. Yeah, I was really happy with the day I put together.
You know, no matter what your finish time is, like, you know what the experience is out there, and it's a really cool and special thing to be a part of.